College Gym Vids fan going live on YouTube. This is another full episode of Rescue 911 from Get TV. I use Tiki Live to record it. I'm gonna put my iPhone in my holder. This is Christmas Tree Fall and 6th grade CPR. I think I got the first part of Christmas Tree Fall, but I want to put the other part on YouTube. Come on, play. There it goes.
Will's brother John also rushed to help.
The first thing that went through my head is, Will's going to freeze to death if he's not dead already. It was just, if we can find him, we might be able to save him. If we can't, he's gone. Matt wasn't very familiar with the ranch, so, your heart just sinks and you go, what do you mean? You think you know where is he? Well, he's over there. And you're just going, well, there's 25 miles over there that it could be.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911, a desperate rescue.
It was cold, probably 15 degrees below zero.
As a family searches the freezing wilderness for their wounded brother.
We didn't take time to realize how bad he was. We just knew we had to get him out of there.
Then, a 6th grade student gets a crash course in saving a life.
I was scared because I figured he might live.
But can he make the grade? On Rescue 911.
It had been nearly 2 hours since 16-year-old Will Barton had fallen 40 feet from the top of the tree. Family members combed miles of the ranch, searching for the spot where he lay with no idea how injured he might be. But as darkness set in and temperatures plunged below freezing, his sister was losing hope that her youngest brother would still be alive when they found him.
Mom was just saying everything's going to be fine. He's not going to be that serious. And I tried to believe her, but I couldn't believe her because it just had that feeling. It's like time skips a beat, and when it resumes beating, your life's changed.
It was really dark outside. It was cold, probably 15 degrees below zero was the wind chill factor. But we didn't notice the cold.
Where is he? Let's go.
We had that whole mountain where he could be, and we panned out, we started running, and were we in the right spot? Just the anxiety of not knowing was the worst.
Help! Help!
We thought, well, maybe we could follow footprints, but there were footprints all over the mountain because they'd been traipsing back and forth trying to find the perfect tree.
When we continue,
The only sound you can hear are other people calling William's name, and I remember the loneliness thinking, what if we don't find him?
some family. $800-870-0865. That's 1-800-870-0865. Get paid up to 2 days faster with NetSpend.
only sounds you can hear are other people calling William's name, hoping for a sound. And I remember the loneliness, thinking, oh, you know, what if we don't find him? I heard him from a little ways off, and I kind of stumbled right onto him. Wake it up.
He looked real white. His pulse was real slow. He was real cold. He looked really bad.
We need to move over here before we hit red. Let me take this. Guys?
Moving?
Yes, I gotta hold his shoulders.
I put my hands underneath his shoulders and put his head in between my arms. And I held onto his neck and head and shoulders while they moved him onto the board and straightened him out.
I can't feel nothing.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
How are we going to get him out of here?
We all looked up the mountain and realized there was no way we were going to get him back up the mountain.
Will's family decided to carry him out a longer, more indirect route that would avoid the steepest slope.
We didn't take time to realize how bad he was. We just knew we had to get him out of there and do it as carefully as possible.
I'm going up that mountain, trying to carry him like that. It wasn't more than 50 yards, and every one of us were totally exhausted.
By the time they managed to get Will back to the house, more than 2 hours had passed since he fell.
I ran out to see how serious it was, and I could tell that there was terror in all their eyes.
I just stepped out of the car and fell into Mom's arms and just started crying. Said, Mom, he's not okay.
When they got to the hospital, the family's physician, Dr. Boyd Simmons, was there to meet them.
He was completely paralyzed in all 4 extremities. We got an x-ray of his neck, and it showed a fracture and a dislocation of his neck.
He has a fracture.
It didn't appear from x-rays like there was an awful lot of room for his spinal cord to go down the spinal canal. And so I really expected the worst.
Will was placed in traffic and 90 miles to a trauma center in Missoula, Montana. His father, Walt Barton, who had left the ranch 2 days before, drove for 12 hours through a blizzard to see his son at the hospital.
And I can remember the hurt that I felt all the way to Missoula. In fact, I cried 90% of the time. I just kept saying to myself, why? To think that a fine young boy like that with all that potential, all of a sudden everything had come to a screeching halt.
Neurosurgeon Henry Gary told them that surgery might be the only way to realign Will's spine. But because the procedure itself was risky, Dr. Gary wanted to wait 24 hours to see if traction alone would work.
The whole family decided, and anyone that even knew us, decided to fast and pray for William. And this started at 6 o'clock in the evening, and at 6:30, the breathing therapist came in to pump William's lungs up to make them work. At that point, something popped in his neck.
You okay? You alright?
And it scared the breathing therapist to death.
Probably had enough for tonight.
The vertebrae had lined back up, and they did not have to do surgery.
Again, you can see the alignment is almost normal.
Even though the vertebrae had realigned, Will still had no feeling from the neck down. His prognosis for recovery was not good.
At that point, they diagnosed him as a quadriplegic. He would never walk again, and he would probably never feed himself again.
We had to turn him every 45 minutes to keep the circulation going and keep him getting vegetables.
I just remember something. They're one of those tough Barton boys.
There was nothing Mary Barton could do to lift her son's spirits.
William really got depressed, and he would just lay there, staring at the ceiling, and I asked him what was happening, and he says, I'm just practicing being a vegetable. What's happening? He says, if you love me, you'd do something really special for me. And I says, what are you talking about, Will? What do you want me to do? He said, just put a pillow over my face and take me out of my misery.
Let me know if you feel dizzy or uncomfortable, hot, sweaty.
Will began attending daily physical therapy.
Is he all right? He doesn't have a heartbeat. What's happening? The one nurse was breathing in his lungs, and he started breathing again. Will? Are you okay, Will?
I remember the nurses rushing around me, panicking, trying to, they were trying to get the pulse, and I started to see a bright light and the most beautiful garden you've ever seen.
It's slow, Shelley.
That was the turning point in my whole recovery, because it was my choice to be here. I would have bad days after that, but I never wished I hadn't have made that choice. I'm glad I did.
His condition slowly improved, but doctors held out little hope that he'd never walk again.
It was about late February. He said, I feel really strange. What I want you to do is I want you to pull me up and hold me. He said, I want to stand up.
Hell, what do you want me to do now?
Try to step back.
Step back? Yeah, I think I can stand.
And all of a sudden I felt the weight of his body relaxing. And I felt him starting to take on some of the weight that he had. And before it was over with, he was standing there pretty much by himself.
Hey man, look at that. Go stand.
By the following Christmas, Will Barton and his family had reason to celebrate.
I had to relearn to walk, but I was determined to work as hard as I could.
Sure you will. There you go.
It seemed a lot like being a baby again and having to relearn to use your muscles, and you fall down a lot and get scraped up, and you just carry on.
Walking really fast. Throw the old Chevy, Rick.
They tutored him, he came back, and he graduated with his high school class. There were over 5,000 people in that stadium. And Will walked down that aisle and received his diploma.
Good seeing you guys.
He's worked hard. First one toe and then one finger.
Not quite as good as mine, but it'll do.
And he is progressing, and I know that he will get well.
William has been such an inspiration to the family from a standpoint of strength, from a standpoint of being able to accept, from a standpoint of seeming to just bring the family unit closer together.
Before, I was very athletic, and the things of the world were, that's what mattered. After my accident, I was very appreciative of what I had. Just motion. Getting up from one place and moving to another place. It's a really big thing. My family helped me a lot in my recovery, and I realized it's the family that matters the most.
Next,
I was just running really hard because I just was thinking the faster I get there, then the sooner he'll get help, and the more chance I'll have of living.
Or visit your local Viasat retailer. Viasat, Fast for All, is here.
40-year-old Randy Corbett had been a teacher at Tracyton Elementary School for 18 years in Western Washington. During that time, he formed a pretty good idea of what people were capable of doing. But on the morning of September 14th, 1992, Randy was surprised to discover that sometimes children can far exceed our expectations.
That's it. Recess is over. Everybody back in class.
Among Among the students in Randy Corbett's new 6th grade class were Chris Sander and his best friend, 11-year-old Aaron Rankin.
When Mr. Corbett came in, he told us to sit down and to get out our math books.
Take out your homework assignment.
He looked just like he did all the other days.
Okay. Number 1, 764. Okay. We round that to the nearest 10. The answer is 760. All right? Number 2, 495. Down to the nearest 10, 490. Okay, that was number 2.
His eyes rolled back and he just collapsed.
Stephen Laundrie didn't know what to do.
A lot of the kids were like, they're laughing and they were saying it's just a joke, it's just a joke, don't get worried, because he's just faking it. Aaron just checked to see if he was breathing and checked for a pulse, and then he just started doing CPR.
My dad's a paramedic and my mom's a nurse. And my parents taught me to do CPR if someone doesn't have a pulse. I was scared because I figured he might not live.
I was just running really hard and I was sweating because I just was thinking the faster I get there, then the sooner he'll get help and the more chance I'll have of living.
Mr. Corbett's collapsed. In our classroom. He just fell over.
Teacher Ben Peterson heard the commotion from his classroom next door.
I saw him laying on his back. I immediately felt the pressure of got to do something because I thought of his 2 daughters and his wife.
Let's go into my classroom.
School principal Ann Laurie had taken a CPR class every year for the last 12 years.
When I ran into the classroom and realized that there was something awful and real happening, some of the old trainings kicked in.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Come on, Randy.
1.
And that was probably one of the most frightening things that I've ever done.
1. Is he breathing? 2. No. 3.
I was very aware of the rhythm that we had established with the CPR to the point where I didn't even realize when Carrie had taken over for Ben.
Okay.
I was only hoping and praying that what we had done as a team was enough.
Within 6 minutes of Randy Corbett's collapse, rescue units with Kitsap County Fire District 15 arrived, including EMT Brian Dansky.
When we first pulled into the school, the first thing I noticed was the sign on the window that said Mr. Corbett. Instantly, that rang a bell that used to be my 6th grade teacher. I had no idea who it was actually that was down in the classroom until I moved around to his head to assist him in ventilations, and I saw that it was Mr. Corbett.
Come on, Randy.
I've done CPR on quite a few people, and you always want to save the person. But when you know the person, it's just that much extra that you want this person to survive.
Hey, still on V-fib, we're charging. Everybody stand clear. 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 Shocking. Okay, and check for pulse. No pulse.
The time that the paramedics were working on Randy were the scariest and most frightening and most horrifying 17 minutes of my life.
Everybody stand clear. 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 Shocking.
I wanted the paramedics to be done, and I wanted the happy ending to be right then and there.
Still on V-fib, we're going to charge. Randy. Everybody stand clear. Clear. Shocking. Check for a pulse. Come on, Randy. We have a pulse. Okay, let's get a blood pressure on him.
Right after the fifth shock, we got a rhythm back, and he started to breathe somewhat on his own.
You're up. Way to go, Randy. First in.
Randy was hospitalized for 7 days. The doctors determined that he suffers from an inherited condition which causes the electrical currents in his heart to malfunction and led to his cardiac arrest.
I had open heart surgery and had a defibrillator implanted in my chest. It sends an electrical impulse to my heart, so it's just like having a paramedic right at my side all the time with the two paddles. I don't look at it as something of fear. It's keeping me alive, so it's something to really be happy about.
Since the incident, Randy's wife, Sue, has learned how to do CPR.
He was lucky, if this had to happen, that it happened at school. Aaron acted so quickly, and the other students and the principal and the teachers did what they needed to do, and I'm sure that saved his life.
During Randy's recovery, Aaron visited him and brought get well cards from the whole class.
Thanks. They told me that if I hadn't done CPR, he might not have lived. Before I thought, oh, it'll never happen to me. But now I know that it could happen to anyone.
Thanks for doing such a good job.
I was proud of myself, and I was glad that I was there that day.
The American Heart Association and the school district honored Aaron for saving his teacher's life.
The fact that he reacted so quickly in getting oxygen to Randy's brain set the stage for a successful ending. We're going to have all our 6th grade students trained in CPR.
We're here to learn CPR, and what I'm going to do is demonstrate the steps in initiating CPR, just like Aaron did on Mr. Corbin.
I believe that all children should be taught CPR all over the United States in school.
I shake and jump. Hey, are you okay?
And if
Well,
taught,
I had to take
there'll
a
be a lot of life
CPR
saved.
class when I was a
6 weeks
senior.
after his
I
cardiac
had
arrest,
to take it in
Randy
order to
Corbin was ready
graduate.
to return to his teaching job.
Before it happened, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but now I do. I'm going to be a paramedic.
I wouldn't trade this class for any other class in the United States.
Hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube. Oh, I guess I'm gonna delete it from the DVR since I recorded it. And actually on Monday I was supposed to record with Tiki Live. I was supposed to record where Santa saves that little boy when he was like 5, but like it's called Arlington and Santa Save. Well, that's scheduled to tape on December 17th to wait a minute. Today is December.
Recording now scheduled. Recorded.
Yeah, so like Arlington and Santa Save is in the scheduled.